stick to just standard on this channel, but I've honestly had quite a few requests for one of these. So we're going to pop one of these off. I don't think Vintage Masters is particularly balanced, even though it is kind of fun. Um, High chance that no matter what we draft, it will end up being a white-based aggro deck if possible. Pretty much try to force it at all times. But yeah, I guess we'll hop right on in. Nah, mistakes have been made. Let's lose this money. These things run about 22 tickets if you count the pack prices. Always hide the rare slot with my hand and like try to evaluate the pack without seeing it. So if we open any money card or anything, it's kind of funny because everybody's just like, take the money card when I don't see it until I've already looked at the rest of the pack. Thank you, Moto. I've played quite a few of these so far. I believe I'm currently 16-5, which isn't terrible. Sorry, 17-4, which isn't terrible. I've had 4 2-1s and 3 3-0s. But it's also not good. I believe that's actually losing money at this format, which is pretty insane considering we've not opened $1 worth of cards. Going to let's check out the old GoatBots EV calculator and see what it says about that. According to this, I don't see it say it. Oh, there it is. +9? That's insane. There's no way that's +9 at that percent. I'm glad of fairly large names at the top of the standings. This guy's currently running away with it. So close. Red Rover, Black Lotus on over. I'd be happy if just a Battle Screech or a Sultai Trooper. Be happy with every Battle Screech in the world. So without looking at the rare, I immediately see the Chief's a pretty good card. Could always force Storm. Those Tendrils is pretty good. Grizzled Fate's fine. Chief might be the best card in the pack. I don't think this card's particularly good in this format. And it's kind of slow, but it is the color I really want to be. So I think the Chief is the best card in this pack. Well, I think Storm's actually the best archetype, but I think like if anybody else tries to draft Storm at all, you're just SOL. So for me, it's between Chief and Outpost, which Outpost is fine, but I would rather have it in like a more Astro Slide type deck. Grizzled Fate's also a very good card, but like I said, my preference is like green, white, and red, white, so the Chief falls right into those lines pretty well. And, maybe if there's no white cards in the next pack or whatever, we can get another good Goblin or something. Like the Goblin deck's pretty strong if you're the only person in it. Yeah, so Moto seems to be kind of wonky at the moment. Yeah, so this is kind of interesting. Armadillo Cloak is the exact card I want to be. Like I said, still preference green-white, can acceptable red-white. I think Armadillo Cloak's really, really good in this format. Could take the Kindle and stay on color. Could take the Harrier, which isn't great, but it is pretty good, I think. So for me, it's really, do I want to take a card as powerful as the Armadillo Cloak and hope it comes together when we've not really saw any white or green cards? We saw 2 packs, but I mean. Or we just want to take the safer pick Kindle. I think we're going to take the safer pick Kindle. Get a little outside of my wheelhouse here. Hey James, what's up, man? Feel pretty good about taking the Kindle now. Here's another Kindle. Here's a Solar Blast, but here's a Torch. Snap taking the Torch. For those who don't know, Scrubland's worth like 50 cents or something online, so like it's you can't take the Scrubland for the value. I should have done a Phantom one of these for the stream, but Solar Blast is actually really good too, but I just think Karavik's Torch is the better card. Yeah, so it looks like we're going to be pretty heavy red right now. I don't think both of those red cards will, but like there's some chance. I think black is the weakest color, but like this card's pretty decent, this card's pretty decent, this card's pretty decent. I have a few decent land fixers. Don't think Repel's particularly great here. Oh wow, the VMA is worth 2 tickets? I thought it was worth like 50 cents. Oh, that's foils, okay. So it's worth like $1. I was wrong. $1.35. I called it 50 cents. I think you can sell it for 75, so like I was just kind of like rounding or whatever. Could stay on target and like take the Goblin Patrol. It's kind of like a 2-drop and it's pretty strong. And if we like willed a Goblin Matrion, maybe we're still the Goblin deck or whatever. I think the best card in the pack's probably Brindle Show or Carnophage or Sacromancy, but I really want to stay away from black if I can, so we're going to take the Goblin Patrol even though I don't really like the Goblin Patrol. Green-red big mana. The Tusker feels to me like it's the best card in this pack, but I actively do not want to be a Tusker deck. Like, I just really, really don't want to be a Tusker deck, not with these red cards. Want to be a go wide strategy if I already have a Chief and I already have a Patrol. So I'm pretty, wow. A foil VMA, how sweet would that be? I'm pretty sure I'm just going to take another Patrol here. Again, I don't really like it, and the Tusker's the better card in the pack by a while, but I feel like I'm already committed to red, and I don't want a Tusker with these red cards. Now this is a card we exactly want in the go wide strategies. Again, Tusker's probably the best overall card in the pack. Mercenary's pretty good. Red-black aggro with the Mercenary is actually pretty reasonable, but I tend to look down on red in general. Spark Spray is actually really good in this format as well. But this is the exact card you want when you're playing like a bunch of Beetleback Chiefs and stuff. I say a bunch of, but we currently have one, so like we may not even see another. Yeah, so I think we're finally going to get off the red cards. We could take this card. This card's actually a good card. But I think the white cards are, the white shadow cards are good enough to like kind of speculate one pick on it over just a random Spark Spray, because we'll see 1 or 2 more Spark Sprays over the course of these 3 packs anyway, typically. So if like and we're not going to play infinite of them, we could play 1, maybe 2. But it's more likely to be a sideboard card anyway, while the shadow card's more likely to be a card that I really want in the main deck. Astro Slide. Alright, so here's some choices. We can take the Prospector and just move in trying to be goblins. Or we can take the Astro Slide with our currently 0 cyclers. We can probably pick up another fodder later. I'm just going to take this card and see if we're actually going to be a goblin deck. I don't like it, and if we play any other color, if we end up being like red-white, there's no chance we even play this card, but this is the only card that we'd probably ever play. Like, again, I don't want to be red-black, but there wasn't much in that pack whatsoever, so I feel like it's the safer choice. It's kind of interesting because I also want to take the Simian Spirit guys now, just as a just in case, but I'm going to stick with the Reckless Charge. I think Reckless Charge is pretty bad. I really don't want it, so maybe I'll take the Simian Grunts. Yeah, I really don't want the Reckless Charge. We'll just take the Simian Grunts. try to figure out what color we're going to play later. Right now, I'm like sending very stupid signals, but like, and if you played in pod, I would be less likely to take like a white card into a black card into a green card like that. But where it's leagues and you're playing versus random people, I'm more comfortable doing that. Wow. Guess we'll take the Carnophage. The last of these cards are just cards we're not going to use. Some chance that, you know, if we actually end up being a red-white, this is a reasonable sideboard card in this format. Pack 1 didn't really go how we wanted it. We got nothing failed open either. The only thing that failed open was like the ramp deck, and I'm really against the ramp deck. Also, the black aggro decks failed a little open, but we didn't see any of the removal really going around. The Matrion didn't will, so that's kind of bad. There's a Kindle, there's a Death Grasp. Probably taking the Kindle. Really don't want any of these cards. Could take the Goblin General, I guess, if we're really going to try to force goblins, but we might not be trying to force goblins. Kindle feels like the best pick here, though. Aftershock's a really good card as well, but if I'm trying to play a hyper aggro deck, I think the one that can actually deal damage is a little bit better. Alright, so here's an actual decision. Am I going to keep going down this red path? Or, sorry, am I going to keep going down this... You know, do I want this second shadow creature, or do I want to just grab the Hulking Goblin? The Hulking Goblin's like a lot weaker than the Sultai Trooper. I actually put a pretty high price on that Elephant Guide as well, but as I already stated, I don't really think this is the type of deck for that. So, we have a kind of a jumble coming together right now. Alright, certainly taking this card. Probably going to regret going away from these black cards, but... Sorry. Probably going to highly regret going away from these black cards, because Carnophages are pretty good, and having 4 1-drops is pretty strong, but... we're going to try to make the white work. Like I said, I'm very biased, and I want it anyway, and I consider this one of the... I consider this the best common in the set, and I think it's better than every uncommon too, and better than most of the rares. Put a super high premium on this card. Like, just an absurdly high premium. And we're going to snap take this one. Guess we can look at the rest of the pack, but it doesn't really matter what was in the pack. As soon as I saw this card, I was pretty much taking it. Like, I think Battle Screech is that strong, and we do already have a Rites of Initiation. So here's kind of an interesting pick. You have the Imperial Armor, which I don't put a lot of stock in, but like my buddy Matt that I draft with thinks that card's very, very good. On a personal level, I just prefer taking the little semi-shadow guy. Also, the benefit of the semi-shadow guy is it helps the 2 Battle Screeches have a higher chance of getting to be able to flash it back. So I'm going to take this over the armor. If we were playing the green-white deck, we would obviously take the armor. So what do we got here? We have an Aftershock, which is a 3rd removal spell, one that can get a real big thing. Or we can take a Mistmoon Griffin, which has the benefit of being a white card that can like bring back the Chief or something if we need to be. On a personal level, I normally take the Aftershock, and I think I'm going to take it still, but I might not play it in this deck, which kind of blows my mind. I feel like this deck's going to be a lot of racing. I'm not going to play more than one Mistmoon Griffin though, and I feel like we'll see another one of them at some point. Alright, so here's just another solid 2-drop, and it's a white card, so practically the exact card we want. I'll take this card, but I'm probably not going to play it. This isn't the type of deck I really like it in. But if we end up being short playables, we can certainly play it. Pack 2 was a lot better than Pack 1. I like how in Pack 2 we just took You know, like we just casually took a whole bunch of white things. We're very unlikely to play the first Skirk Prospector, so I don't really want to take the second Skirk Prospector. There's some chance that we splash for this card, like if the mana fixing showed up, so I think I'm going to take it. And probably not play it. I don't think I'm playing the first Skirk Prospector to begin with, though. So I feel like that was kind of like a free row. Again, I'm going to take this just the same as the Noble Templar. I don't think I'll end up playing it, but it's a card that we might play if the packs go kind of poorly. Certainly not going to play that. I probably should have just took the Fielder Land. I think that's the first pick I've really hated that I've made so far. Shelter's a card you can sideboard in, actually a pretty fair amount. Like, you do sideboard in Shelter versus a lot of decks. And the Mistmoon Griffin come back, and that's a playable card, but I don't really want 5/4 drops in these type of decks. That's kind of cool. Maybe we can like get some Mana Wars or a Prophetic Bolt or whatever to splash. Again, I'm pretty against splashing, but I do like to keep my eye on our lands. There's another Griffin, there's a Commando, there's a Fire Blast. We're probably taking the Fire Blast. Haven't looked at the rare yet because I like the sweat, but Karmic Guide. Alright, we're definitely not taking the we're definitely either taking this or this. I don't think this card's as high as a lot of people say it is. Like, I saw another drafter earlier, a very good drafter, pack one, pick one this. There was a Chain Lightning in the pack. On a personal level, I would just take the Chain Lightning every single time. I do kind of like this card as the top end of a curve. Because you often trade something off earlier, like they use a removal spell on an early creature. Well, not a single white and or red card that I'm likely to play in here. I think you're better than Skirk Prospector. So I'll take you. Fastbone's not worth anything, right? Can't be, there's just too many of them. I think it's going to be worth like less than $1. It's going to probably be worth about 15 cents or something. So I think we're going to take this guy and not be happy about it at all. There's a lot of strong cards in this pack. Another Sacromancy, a black cards that'll probably will. Maybe we shouldn't have went on the white. Alright, we'll take the Benevolent Bodyguard. Oh wow, hard pick. A Beetleback Chief when we already have 5 4-drops, or a Chain Lightning. I gotta say, I think I want the Chain Lightning, but passing the Beetleback seems real wrong. I do think the Beetleback's better than the Mistmoon Griffin. I'm gonna take the Chain Lightning. I don't know if this pick's right. It kind of feels wrong. Maybe it feels really wrong considering we already have a Rites of Initiation. Huh. The Rites really makes me want to take the Beetleback. But I'm going to take the Chain, I believe. Yeah, I'm going to take the Chain. I'm not sure if I like that pick. Ooh, our Solar Blast or our third Kindle? Pretty sure the third Kindle's better than the first Solar Blast. Right, we have too many spells now. You're a random 2-drop that I don't want to play, but we're looking like we could potentially be short on playable, so I'm going to go ahead and take this just in case. I'm going to be hoping not to play it in the end. What do you do? Well, you're better than the 2-drop we just took, so I guess I'll take you. Radiant Judgment's defensible too, like Radiant Judgment's a real card. Oh wow. Hard pick. We have a great game finishing card, and we have a Sultai Trooper. And we're going to take the Sultai Trooper, I think. I vaguely remember what this card does. Sure. So you get a 2/2 every turn. Gotcha. Alright, well, I would rather have the Goblin Commando than either of our current 6 drops. One cool thing about the Goblin Commando is like you can like chump block with it and like get something back with that. It's not a white card, which is unfortunate. There's another Goblin Commando. Again, I'd rather have a Goblin Commando than either of our 6 drops, so just gonna go ahead and put that in our deck and safely move these 2 to the side now. Wow, Aurora Wormswield. Aurora of the Wormswield. Just gonna go ahead and put it in our sideboard. Here's one land. I'm going to take the land. There's some chance that we bring in the Death's Grasp in certain matches, so like that helps out. I already have one of these. I'm going to take this versus Hyper Aggro decks. I've sideboarded it in once or twice, but it's just not something I'm likely to sideboard in. I'm not going to play that. Alright, I think the deck actually come pretty well. This is going to be a 17 land deck, I think. We're a little too high. Well, we have no 3 drops. That's awkward. We're a little too high to go to 16 lands, I think, but I don't think we're high enough to want a 17th land, or sorry, an 18th land. So, I think we're just going to cut this, and I think we're pretty decent here. Actually, I don't really want the Benevolent Bodyguard either. So, what do we got going on? Yeah, that all seems fine. So, what cards do we have to put in? We definitely don't want you. You're playable. We definitely don't want you. So, basically, it's a Hulking Goblin, a Cougar, or a Noble Templar. We have double red spells and we have double white spells, so either of those are reasonable. I think I'm going to go with a little more red than white. I'm going to play both our Cyclers. Still not sure which of these 3 cards I'm playing. Let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 2-drops already. I think we're going to take the one that can cycle because we do have some 4 and 5 drops in our deck. So like when we get bad draws, I think I would rather have this guy. Even though this guy pretty well just says he's going to cycle almost every game. I think this deck looks reasonable. I think this deck's at least a 2-1. With the right pairings, it could be a little higher. The white didn't really work out as well as I'd wanted it though, so maybe we shouldn't have got off the black cards. We would have had like, I think we would have had 6 1-drops that I'll have 2 power if we'd stayed in the black deck. But anyway, let's get into the games. We don't actually have much of a sideboard, which is one of the things that I actually kind of like pride myself on when I play VMA. I like having a pretty robust sideboard. So I'm a little sad that our sideboard doesn't look like it's going to be particularly useful today. Yeah. Stop it. Stop it, Moto. Alright, let's put you guys over here. Alright, we'll keep this hand. It is very fine. We have to hit some lands, but we already have a power spell for the early part of the game. I'm gonna go ahead and play this, and I'm willing to trade these 1 for 1 if he attacks. Actually value getting the Benevolent Bodyguard off the table. If he's playing enchantments or whatever, it's better for us. Well, rip. That's unfortunate. So he's playing the green-white deck, which is what I consider the best deck. They typically load up on enchantments and just plow you. And if the Benevolent Bodyguard, like, there's nothing we can do about him, just like, if he just slams an Armadillo Cloak or even a Elephant Grass Sphere, we don't have an answer to it really in our deck. I said Elephant Grass, but I meant Elephant Guide. So, like, we really just don't have an answer to this in our deck. I'm gonna offer him to trade. He will likely not take it. Chooses the mana slightly better. So the deck our opponent's playing is the deck we would like to ideally play at all times. We didn't draft a Radiance Dragoon, or we do have an Afterlife. I said we didn't have an out, but we do have an Afterlife. We passed a Radiance Judgment that I thought about taking. I don't remember what I took over it, but like in my mind I debated it pretty hard. It might have been a Commando or something. That's a pretty good one. Alright, we'll go ahead and play this. And I think we're actually going to start by trying to kill this. Actually, probably not. Probably just attacking with the Goblin Patrol. And then, like, playing several blockers. It's pretty low on cards though, so that helps. It's safe to block here, because there's a good chance that both of these get to attack. Alright, it's fine. That's a good draw. And we're looking to kill this card. I'm looking to block with the Chief here, because if I block with the Chief and I draw a white mana, I can use the Karmic Guide. If I draw any mana, I can at least shoot the dude here out of the way. Could have left 2 blockers back for this, but like I just want to keep getting damage in. I'm afraid of them having a pretty large number of cards here. That's disappointing. Yeah, well, let's start with an attack for 2. Some chance that he blocks. Alright, he blocked. I guess we're gonna kill it? Not real happy about killing that there. Well, we're only 1 land away from shooting the flyer anyway, so. Definitely plan to double block here. I think. Double checking Phantom Nomad rulings real quick to make sure if I can or can't block it. Pretty sure I can. Sorry guys, I'm actually looking up a ruling. Legitimately can't find a ruling. Could go ask a judge, but like we're in the middle of a stream. Sorry guys. I don't think I can actually double block it, so we'll just do this and go on about our day. We really need to hit our land pretty soon. That is not our land. Could have like a Simian Spirit Guide, but we're not going to play around something like that. We're not doing particularly well right now anyway in the actual game. Okay. That's fine. What is this one? Well, not happy to see that one. You can do it, Dick. Just attack with all of these. He blocks this and takes 3. Doesn't seem particularly good for us. Really needed a plains. Yeah, you got me. Nothing I can do about it. Not gonna pay. This doesn't really do anything. So we basically have to hit the Karmic Justice to win. And then it may not be good enough at this point. Alright, well we have no out now. The second bodyguard's going to win for sure. And we never got the white mana anyway, so what do we do? And maybe takes 3 damage. Like there's some world where he only blocks one thing, right? Right, well we're dead. Him making that block gave us a chance though. We'd had a white mana. I think we would have easily won this game. And we're just dead. So he's got triple Elephant Grass versus our basically only removal deck. That's pretty bad for us. Have anything we want to sideboard? No. Guess we could bring in this. So it'd be better than something that's in our deck. These commandos actually don't seem particularly good in this deck, do they? Or in this match, rather. Alright. I brought in a Seal Cleansing. Mainly not because of the Elephant Grass, but I think there's a good chance that he'll have an Armadillo Cloak. Alright, we'll keep it. It's very terrible. I do not expect to do well with this hand. Man. Why is it so hard to get the right colors lands? On like turn 7 or 8. Shouldn't be hard. So like we're just a little aggro deck and he's got Phantom Nomads in his deck, so that makes all of our 1-drops a lot worse. He put on top. I always feel like when they put on top, their hand's better than mine if my hand's weak. Well, we have the lands for it this game. We just don't have any creatures. Go ahead and play a Nomad and run our only offense. Yep. Well, we are a 16 creature deck. Solid. Pretty much just dead now. Oh, well, maybe not just dead. We have blockers. Go us. Go us. Block with this if he attacks. If he gives it trample, we really are dead. And they are something that gives it trample in this format. Snap blocking with this though. If given the opportunity, of course. There's like no guarantee that we get the opportunity. Yeah, so we take 7. I'm gonna attack with these and leave back to Chief. Well, I'm playing the deck that I consider the best deck in the format, so can't be too upset if we lose to it. He's down to 2 cards though. So you have a way to give it trample? If so, we're just dead. Nope. That's not a way to give it trample. Not a way to give it trample at all. Snap block with this guy, just so we can get more tokens. So he can block one thing. He's just dead, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He blocks the 1. He's going to take 12 exactly. Make sure this is how this works. It's +1 for each card discarded this way. Okay. So he's going to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah. Yep, he's dead. Nice little 17 damage. I don't know why it took me that long to count that. Wow, I'm surprised we won that draw. I'm surprised we beat that draw. This card was an all-star. But yeah, that's what I was talking about when we were drafting. Like, I really wanted to go wide. There's nothing really else I want. Like, maybe you're okay. No, we're just gonna submit. Nobody at all wants to watch Sears this VMA. Wow, how are these hands this bad? Seriously, how are these hands this bad? Alright, I'll keep it. It's like stone unplayable, but we'll keep it. I've literally have had 3 unplayable hands in a row. Our opponent's had what's very likely the best card in his deck 3 hands in a row. Didn't have a turn 3 enchantment this time though, so I guess that's an improvement for us. This card doesn't do much else, so go ahead and kill that thing while we can, and hopefully we can race, but it's pretty hard to race. I'll be able to draw like a beetle back or whatever and be able to block. Or like another random 2-drop or burn spell for next turn. We have 4 burn spells we can draw and an afterlife we can draw. I'm gonna offer him a trade here. Kinda like doing this weird race right now. Unlikely to block anything. Obviously can't block anything because of the Jafari tapping stuff, but like would be unlikely to block anything anyway. We're highly hoping that he doesn't put an enchantment on Jafari. We won't even put it on Nomad if he puts it on anything. See what he's got. It's a pretty tight game. He's got 4 cards in his hand, so he could like have anything. He could even have a boat. A boot. A boot. A boot. What? What are you going to defeat us with? Another Benevolent Bodyguard. Well, that was a good draw. Or that was a good card. So now I kind of want to like commando it when I really wanted to commando that. Makes the game much more awkward. Pretty much have to hit this one. That's fine, we're tapped out anyway. He had mana. I have no idea what he has, but he certainly had mana, so like he's certainly got something here. Whether it be an afterlife or whether it be a Simian Spirit Guides, like you know he's got something on that turn. Would easily chump block with the Goblin Commando if given the opportunity this turn. We're clearly not going to be given that opportunity, of course. Oh wow, we are going to be given that opportunity? It's a pretty easy block right here. Curious what the last card in his hand is. That was a good draw too. Alright, what do we want to kill? We can kill the Jafari, but I don't think there's any reason to. We're just going to kill the Tapper. Gonna hold the plains in case we draw a Rats. So we have 2 different blockers and a lot of things that can kill him next turn. We already have 5 unblockable. I feel like our opponent's deck was better than ours. Not won yet though, so. I do feel like opponent's deck was better than ours. Wonder what's in his hand. He's like not playing lands and he's not played spells most turns. Does he have just like a bunch of 5 casting cost things, or does he like have exiles and stuff waiting for us to attack with the commando? Or, you know, like a non-white card? Not really sure. Ah, he conceded. 1-0 with this deck that I find very medium. Move on to the next round. Hopefully we can win at least 1 out of the next 2 to acquire a partial PD chest. I do say partial because, you know, reasons. You lose money going 2-1. You lose almost $10 going 2-1 in this format. And we have an opponent. Okay, thank you, Moto. We'll go ahead and scoot these over here. Moto doesn't want to keep the screen up today, and I'm not sure why. This hand's great. We don't even have red mana, but this hand's still just great. We have 3 draw steps to find a 4th mana for Battle Screech, and like he's going to have a pretty powerful hand to even beat what we have. Versus the majority of the blue decks, the majority of them don't beat Battle Screech if it resolves. Wild Mongrel, so he could be having his nut draw as well. But with Rites of Repellation, or with the red Rites in our deck, even if he like Arrogant Worms this turn, we still have outs to win, which is just stone ridiculous, by the way. It's actually ridiculous that we still have outs to win, if that's even the case. Well, don't really care about that one. Just wanting to dodge Arrogant Worm. So far we've dodged it. He didn't leave up blue mana, so we don't even have to worry about Circular Logic. He obviously has a great draw, though. Does his great draw beat our great draw? Go ahead and force him to use the mana here because it takes away the majority of his turn if he does. And if he just wants to let him trade, we're fine with that. Yep. Takes up the majority of his turn though, which is why I'm fine with that. Aquamoeba. We're definitely attacking with this one. I don't know how many of these we're attacking with, is the question. Alright, so next turn, say he bashes with a wall. If we didn't block any, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then he would have 3 cards in his hand, 10, 11, 12. So I think we just need to leave 2 back. Not sure. Let's leave them all back. Gives us the most blocking choices. So Rice gives everything +2/+2 right now. So these things alone attack for 8. That was a good one. That was real good. Just make these blocks, I guess. So we're probably not going to win this game then. Assumed he would pump that up. The question is he going to throw a card away to get rid of our Miss Griffin? Kinda hope he does. We don't want to have to worry about this damage next turn. Hey, Mr. Ocelot. I hope Blue-White Drakehaven went well for you today. Alright, so he did. Which is kind of good for us. Yeah, so I don't think we're lethal, are we? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, we're not lethal. So if I just block you this turn, I take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that seems fine. We'll just go ahead and pump that up. Yeah, attack him for another 4. Which should give us lethal on the following turn if he doesn't have any way to interact. And we do have a Kindle if he does have something here. Sure. Another Aquamoeba doesn't do anything. So just go ahead and throw the Kindle at him because if we draw Karavik's Torch or something, that's the easier way to win. And this is 2 damage anyway when we discard to the right, so it's the exact same thing. Yeah, well, we gotta do what we gotta do. Attack for 8 damage. Alright, so we beat another good deck and another great draw. Rice has won us 2 games so far. So, like, I know a lot of people have told me not to take it in that spot, but in these go-wide decks, it's really an MVP. It's an MVP nearly every one of those games like that. So do we want to sideboard anything versus them? I think the Templar is the best blocker, even though I still don't want any of these 6-drops. Don't really want Benevolent Bodyguard here. Don't want Shelter. Teferi's Fateful. It's really good versus Basking Root Walla and Aquamoeba. That's pretty bad versus Wild Mongrel. What would we sideboard out for it if we were to bring it in? We'd probably sideboard out the Skirk Drill Sergeant, which is pretty bad in my deck anyway. I think I'm willing to try this. We're on to draw 2. So it keeps our creature count the same, and our Skirk Drill Sergeant's not very good anyway. Like, it was really just a filler card because we kind of come up short a couple playables. Like, we're also playing this Noble Templar because, again, we kind of come up short a couple playables. Alright, this hand's just great. Do have an interesting decision, though, whether we want to play the Patrol on 1 or whether we want to play a random white card on 1. Think we want to play the Patrol? Really depends on what he does, I guess. Like, if he played a Basking Root Wallow, we probably wouldn't. Some people would say not to play it because of turn 3. This is our first draft on stream, yeah. This is our 6th or 7th draft total. Maybe 8th, I'm not sure. Pretty sure I want to Patrol, but he's already showed us multiple Wild Mongrels. And, like, this card's better versus Wild Mongrel. Like, this card's a lot better versus Wild Mongrel. He's already showed us 2 Aquamoebas as well. So he showed us 2 Aquamoebas and 2 Wild Mongrels. So I'm pretty sure I don't want to play Patrol versus what our opponent showed us. Versus most decks, I would play Patrol. Because if it trades, I'm happy. But it's just the cards that he showed us makes me not really want to play it. It's like just specifically the cards he showed us that makes me not want to play it. Whoops, that's not the right one. I don't really have anything to board out in this deck. My sideboard, I was short a couple playables to begin with, and like I'd be bringing in like a Cougar. And I have multiple Patrols. Like, I don't really want to bring in Cougars. Like, I could have brought in a Bodyguard maybe. I'm not sure. But like, I'm kind of short on playables. That's my problem with trying to sideboard them out. Just really short on playables. I mean, I even brought in the 1/4 gain 4 life for this match when like it's not particularly great, but again, just short on playables. I guess I'm more likely to block with that if I was ever given the opportunity to block. Why does it highlight? Oh, I guess because I can cycle. I was going to say, I definitely have played my land this turn, so that's confusing to me. We are a red rats. We have red rats in our deck, though, so, like, even, we can always just, like, steal a game with the red rats, is what I'm trying to say. Alright. Let's start with this. Aftershock's kind of an interesting one. I'm just going to play this and this. I'm going to hold the extra land because of the red rats. If there's a mountain, I might have played it so I could pay for the Echo and use the Aftershock. Alright. So he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blockers. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we'll start with this one then. We don't have to rats this turn. We can rats later. Might like Aftershock this or something. And like start attacking him with the shadow guys. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna Aftershock that and start attacking with the shadow guys. Well, alternatively I could chain lightning it and attack with the 6 shadow guys. I think that's better. Okay. Short. might have missed an attack with this when I wasn't paying attention. I think I missed an attack with the trooper by just not paying attention at all. Don't quote me on that. Alright, so he's done. I guess he doesn't have any way else to stop the shadow guys in his deck. Alright, quick 2-0. Moving into the last round, will we get another trophy? Or will we lose $10? It's kind of how VMA drafts go. The deck's fine. We kind of probably moved into white when we shouldn't have and forced white, so we have a very weak sideboard because of that. Usually in VMA drafts, you usually have so many playables that you have a very robust sideboard. But I didn't have that luxury this game. Like I said, I probably kind of forced white when I shouldn't have. But I have a strong bias to wanting to play white. Like, I think I've played 7 of these total. And like, I pretty much force white every time. Or like some combination of white. Like this was one of our 3-0 decks yesterday. But like you can see how just what I'm trying to show is not the deck, because I don't think the deck's great, but like how many different sideboard options we can go. Like there was games where I like took out all the 1-drops and just played the control route. But like just trying to say that like the sideboards are just, you can do so much with the sideboards in these decks. But I just didn't have that, or in this format, I just didn't have that luxury this particular round. But I think it's because that I didn't read my signals well. I'm pretty sure I should have been the big mana deck. I don't think I'm going to keep this hand. Like I'm playing this in my deck. Just to have a playable. I'm going to mulligan this. It's pretty weak. Yeah, this hand's fine. I'm certainly going to keep an extra land when we have the Beetleback Chief already in our hand. Kind of sucks mulliganing when you're wanting to play this card. Like, this card's been the MVP. This card's great. Everybody should love this card. Love it. Love it. I demand you all love it. I'm actually going to play the Nomad here. I feel like they just counterspell the first thing that you're... Sorry, I feel like they just use a removal spell on your first item almost all the time. Like, there's so many different red cards that I don't want to just get Solar Blasted on that turn. Or whatever. I'd rather try to get some number of damage in. And if they killed a trooper, they killed a trooper. But for the most part, I would like to just try to get some damage in. It looks like his hand's pretty weak. Could be just like Flame Tongue Kavuz. Nope, it's a Suchi. This card's pretty sweet. I remember when I first opened one out of a pack when I was very young. I was like so excited by it. Thought it was the greatest thing ever. But at that time we didn't know the phases and stuff, right? So like I thought I got to use this mana in my second main phase. I mean, you gotta keep in mind, I'm like 13 years old just learning Magic or whatever. But I was completely blown away with like that card. I was just like, oh my god, how does anybody ever beat this? It's too good. You know? And it was pretty good. So if they block 2 things, they're going to take 1, 2, 3, 4. So what do we got here? We have attack with them all. They block, they block. They take 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Not good enough. Might as well cycle this to see if we get like a Karavik Torch or something first. We did not. So we'll just play another Shadow guy. And we'll get across the table for 2 more damage. Just gotta keep on fighting the good fight here. The Shadow guys can go pretty far by themselves versus most of these blue-red decks. He could be a Wildfire deck, which would suck. Because he would still have... I don't know what the Wildfire is in this format. I think it's the maybe Capture... Or... I don't... The Burning Wage... It's a Portal Free Kingdoms card. I don't remember what it's called, but like... Obviously, Wildfire would completely crush us, and there's nothing we can do about it. But if he doesn't show us anything like that, we're just going to keep bashing with these Shadow guys. Potentially play the other Shadow guy next turn. He like spends the majority of his mana, and like maybe attacks with a creature or something. Maybe we'll go all in on the Rats, but as of right now, we don't even need to go all in on the Rats. So he's down to 10. He's blocking 2 things, so it'd be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. It's technically a lethal attack now, but like I said, I'm very likely to not go for it if he's not pressuring my life total, because A, he could have counterspell, B, he could have a removal spell, so on and so on. Like, there's just no reason to risk it when I feel like I'm really far ahead. Like, I really feel like I'm only losing to that exact one card. We have enough burn. We have 3 Kindles, a Chain Lightning, and a Karavix Torch as well. So, like, if we just window his life total down, like, we can just win a later game. Hey, you expired. What's up, man? Finally. Oh, nice. Congratulations, man. I'm glad it's still going well with you. Oh, with Big Red. You switched off to Black Green? I didn't do very well with the Big Red. I struggled very hard versus the teamer matches. I could not figure that match out. Like, they tell me it's good versus teamer, I just could not figure it out. This card right here kind of looks kind of Dumbo-ish, but like this card's actually very good in this format. It's like actively very good. I love the art on that card. Just like absolutely love the art on that card. Hunger is like the sea, deep, endless, and unforgiving. That's me on Thanksgiving. I tried to get my Scap to work so I could Scap me and a friend playing these together, but I could never get the sound to work. Alright, so like if he blocks, say he has 1 removal spell, he still takes 2, 3, 4. I think it's worth it at this point. I don't really want any of these cards that are in my hand to begin with. Like I actively don't want any of these cards. Yeah, Sand Strangler is amazing, but like, man, they go so wide so quick, and like, a lot of them are playing like 4 Chandra's Defeats and stuff now post-board, which is insane, you know? I find it entertaining that I'm going all in versus a guy who could have a counter spell or removal spell, a bunch of things, but like, I literally don't want the 4 cards in my hand. So it feels like it's the best play. It's kind of crazy if you think about it. I don't even have to go all in. I can just like discard 1 card. I mean, obviously I'm going to discard more than 1 because I want to play around removal or whatever. I discard all 3, I even play around double removal. So we'll play around double removal. Just go ahead and discard all 3. If he has a counter spell, we get the information up front. We don't have to obviously don't have to discard any cards, which is one of the great things about this type of card. A lot of the cards that are worded the exact similar, you choose beforehand. So like a lot of those cards you choose beforehand, and like you just get wrecked for doing it. But there's no danger with that Rat cycle, which is really nice. So let's review what every card he showed us so far. He showed us a Killer Whale, a Su-Chi, Afterlife, and a Brainstorm, so he didn't really show us much. Could potentially bring in Seal Cleansing to try to kill the Su-Chi, but it's probably not worth it considering he only showed us 1 card. I do think Shelters and stuff are okay versus the mass removal decks, but like, he honestly didn't show us much removal. showed us one removal, and that's for a Brainstorm and like a moderately long game. The Noble Templar seems like it's probably really bad here. It doesn't attack through Suchi, it doesn't attack through the well. So I'm willing to cut it. Could cut it for just another 2-drop if we were on to play, maybe. But I think I'm just going to bring the Shelter in on the draw. I might swap that out for the Hulk on the play. Or I might bring back in the Land Cycler or the Benevolent Bodyguard on the play. But on the draw, I think Shelter's a little bit better. These Goblin Commandos also seemed kind of bad in this match, but again, you know, we don't really have that many tools in our sideboard, so we're kind of stuck with what we're stuck with. Alright, so we're both mulliganing, and we're going to keep this hand. It's not great, but Phantom Nomads are kind of hard for them to remove without blocking a bunch, and we have several turns. We have a Karmic Guide, which gives us some like value later or whatever, but just put that on the bottom of our deck, so I mean, that happens some percentage of times, but is very likely to Scrybug. Lightning Rift. Okay. Well, that's not good for us. So we now know that we at least won our 1 Seal of Cleansing versus him. We also won our Battle Screech. Just infinite Battle Screeches would be real fun now. This card's pretty hard to beat, especially for little creature decks. Alright, we'll just play this. Again, it's not great, but he only showed us 1 Cycler last game, right? Actually found a way to get some value out of this. Brainstorm. I'd probably use this card first, but maybe he didn't want to discard anything in his hand. Get you a card deeper in your deck, though, if you do this card first. Of course, he might just be wanting to keep this card to hold this guy back. All things that could realistically be happening there. To see what opponent has. So he knows the top 2 cards of his library. We just need to untap and draw a Battle Screech. That would get some things done. Are you a Battle Screech? No, you're not a Battle Screech, but you are a good enough card that I'm going to attack again. So he might just chump block that, and I'm fine if he does. Maybe I shouldn't offer it to him since we already have the Goblin Commando and nothing to spend it on next turn, but like, I actually rate these Cyclers very, very high. So like, getting it off the table without him getting an extra use out of it feels pretty good to me. Like, I'm pretty excited if he doesn't get an extra use there. We're not paying this mana. Another sticky threat, so like he has to have double Cycler to kill either of these really. It looks like he doesn't even have a Cycler yet. Is this a May? It enters the battlefield, deals 2 damage to target creatures. That is not a May. That is, you've gone and done it. Go ahead and kill that. If he wants to trade one of or both of these for this, I'm fine with that. Over 2 turns, obviously. Like, I assume he's just going to hold back and try to double block that or whatever. This sucks that this is not a May. Suchi. Just gonna attack with everything again on our turn. Nope. Oh wow, he wants to attack. Does he think I won't attack with my Phantom Neshoba? Because I assure you, my Phantom Neshoba is attacking, friends. So we have a pretty decent army here. I always gotta do is like chain several cyclers together though for this lightning rift. Yeah, I played 4-color energy last night with like the scarabs and the Verascas and stuff on stream, and man, I thought it felt great. It felt exactly like what I wanted. I was pretty excited about how well I thought it was. We're just going to keep all of those. Remember, we have Rats in our deck. The one thing that sucks about holding them is we also have Karavik's Torch in our deck. We do have a bunch of flyers here, though. Scarab feels so good, though, man. The Sultai build felt pretty good, too, but, man, I really was excited just to go back to gear hulking people. Gear Hulk feels like it's a bit underplayed, but maybe if a Braid's in the format, it's really not underplayed. Maybe I'm just wrong. We have 3 Kindles, 1 Chain Lightning, and 1 Karavik's Torch in our deck. And we also have 1 Rites of Red. I don't know what it's called. The Red Rites. So if we get to deal a couple of damage here, we're going to feel pretty happy. I love how this triggering works, by the way, because we get the good one back. We don't have to get back the other one. And this one's clearly the good one in this situation. He's got 2 cards. He's going to have to chain together some cyclers. Or we could just be getting a 3-0. Who knows? Let's go ahead and go look to see who's going to be getting the host, though. Because I feel like we're going to get this. What do you do? Comes X counters on, where X is equal to the number. Remove a counter, draw a card. Alright, well that doesn't do much in this spot. That does nothing in this spot. Alright. Well then. We finally drew a Karavik's Torch. As many times I've sideboarded them in and they've done nothing in this format. So he just wants to take us 2, down to 4, and pop goes the Weasel. There's no reason to do it for more, right? I don't think there's any force spike effect in this deck or format, but and this says you have to pay 2 more to counter it. Oh, sorry. Yeah. That you have to pay 2 more to counter it, so like even if it was a force spike effect, it doesn't matter. Alright, another quick 3-0. Like, doing pretty good in this format. That's 4 3-0s. We've 3-0'd 50% of our events. That's pretty good for somebody who doesn't play limited. But yeah, like I said, I probably forced white when I shouldn't have, which really hurt us when it comes into terms of our boarding, but the deck still performed. The Rites of Initiation won multiple games. The Goblin Commando was as good as advertised. The Battle Screech was as good as advertised. Like, white is just so good in this format. But, I guess we're going to give Thundermo the, he's the only person that I follow that watches playing Standard, so we're going to throw Thundermo the host today. Even though there's quite a few good Modern players on, if you wanted to watch Modern. Todd Stevens is currently playing with Ban Eldrazi. Canister's playing with Lantern. Wallowump, I think that's a name I can't pronounce, so I won't try to say, but I think he's either a Gold or Platinum Pro. He's a very good player, very intelligent player. He's playing Baral Storm. And then you have Simulin, if you want to watch more VMA draft. He's just a much better player than I am. But yeah, we'll host the standard player because we play standard. Thanks for stopping by, UXiled and everyone else. Appreciate it, and we'll try to be back tomorrow. If we get bored enough, we might come back and do a bonus VMA draft tonight. If I could get my volume working, if I could figure out how to get, and I Googled it and I just failed, but like if I could figure out how to get my friend's Skype voice into the game, or sorry, if I could figure out how to get it to where the chat could hear his voice, like we might would do a couple more. I'm not sure. But anyway, take care, everybody, and I hope you enjoyed this. Like I said, apologize for doing it. I know a lot of you guys expect me to play standard all the time, and that's what I want to play, but I had enough requests for this, and I think the format's fun enough that I figured I would. Anyway, take care, everybody, and thank you guys for stopping by.